which some might say that ain't no big improvement, 3 murders less, when we're still having 170 something people murdered in just 44 days. 1 month is 30 days. So you talk about a month and a half, 170 something people murdered in Jamaica. Hambi man a so flow man, come make we reason with intelligence.
On the vlog how can play this. Whoa, 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 so flow. So flow me shock you right. Set that beat father. Set that beat, yeah. It's so flow, your king turn up loud, you know the boy. It's so flow.
So flow turn up the thing.
And we say productivity and progress, you know. Up. Alright, welcome to SoFlo TV again, everybody. It's your host with the most. We're going to call this one Murder by the Numbers in Jamaica. That's what we're going to call this one. Murder by the Numbers. Now, a subscriber asked me, so what is the numbers like right now, SoFlo? Because I need to know. Remember, we started out the year 2018 by looking at 2017, and we were at 1,616 people murdered in Jamaica at the end of 2017 in that 1 year span. From January 2017 to December 2017, 1,616. I started out the year by saying if they don't come up with a solid crime plan, this is going to be worse for 2018, right? And at the beginning of 2018, we started out on that track like we were going to beat the numbers halfway through 2018. That's how we started off 2018. And the Right Honorable Andrew Holness called in some state of emergencies and one bag of place get locked down and all kind of things like that. Now, fast forward today to answer this subscriber's questions. I'm reading this article, and this article was published today, right? September 17th of 2018. Before I read this article by Justice Minister Delroy Chuck, I'm going to say this. I'm going to read from 2 articles, but what I have noticed is I don't know if some kind of memorandum was sent out or some kind of a command was sent out to not have those numbers published in any of our national news entities. You know, for instance, we will be able to look up and say, what's Jamaica's murder rate from January to April or January to September of 2017? We're not done with September yet, so they wouldn't have that. Say January to August of 2018. And the computer would give us, from some Jamaican credible entity, 1,500 or 600 or 200 or whatever the numbers may be. You can't find that now. Every now and then what you're finding is statistics, or you're finding them saying, well, there were 144 here, but there were 22 there. And then, but they leave out so much more, so we cannot gather up. But over here, we're going to pick sense out of nonsense, and we're going to do a little bit of mathematics and try to get to the numbers. What's up? Okay, Brains in there is saying that they actually told the newspapers that they need to be more careful with the way they put out those numbers or whatever. So, there you have it. Alright. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck says that although murder rate across the country has declined by approximately 20%, it is no time for the government to end the state of public emergency or gloat and celebrate the reduction. Here is why. This year, murders went up by 20% in the first couple of months. But in the last 5 to 7 months, it has been slowly decreasing. We are now down by 20%. So if we went up 20% and now we're down by 20%, where does that put us? Leave it in the comment section below. Anyway, Chuck said that speaking at the installation ceremony for 22 new justices of the peace in Trelawney on Friday, he said that it is going in the right direction, but there is nothing to gloat or cheer about, because we must get murders to a level where we respect people's lives. Until then, we must try to get the murder rate closer to 0, and there is nothing to cheer about right now, he said. With respect to the state of emergency in St. James and St. Catherine North, he described them as being extremely successful and argued that they should be continued in order to derive the best results possible. I too so agree. How do you say? Leave it in the comment section below. Should they get rid of the state of emergency, or should they keep them in place and even expand them to more places across the island? Until we can get murder down to the satisfactory level and send a signal to the criminals, to the gangsters, to the criminal dons, that we are going to find them, this is not the time to remove those 2 state of emergencies, Chuck said. And I think one is in somewhere in Kingston there, St. Andrew, and one is still in Killy Place, Mobile. You have a part to play, because here in Trelawney, we don't have a state of emergency. Not that the numbers are great in Trelawney, but murders have risen a little bit, he said. In a clear charge to the newly commissioned Justices of the Peace, he said, we want to get Trelawney down from last year. Last week, the Trelawney police said that the parish had experienced an increase of over the number 21 murders last year. So last year at this time of the year, Trelawney, last year at the end of the year, Trelawney ended 2017 with 21 murders last year. This time at this part of the year, with still a few months to go before the year ends, Trelawney is already at 20, set on record to beat the number 21 from last year, unless nobody else gets killed before the year is out. We want to see more improvement, which means reduction in criminal statistics, and it means Justice of the Peace working with Superintendent Dwight Powell and hard-working officers who you see patrolling all around, he said. Don't engage in police work, he told the Justices of the Peace. You are not police, he told the Justices of the Peace. Work with Superintendent Powell, and I know that Superintendent Powell and his various offices will work with you. He concluded that, from where I sit, I can assure you that the Prime Minister, the ministers, and the Member of Parliament are all determined that Jamaica must eliminate many of the wrongs and corruptions, the discipline and the criminality, added Chuck. Now, I went a little bit further and went back a little bit to Sunday, May 13th of 2018, a few more months back. Let me start by congratulating both sides of Parliament for agreeing to extend the state of emergency. It is the first in a long time that decisions are being made for the country at the expense of political capital. Maybe they both realize that if the gangs are not defeated, that the country they fight to govern or keep governing will not be worth anything. As I said in an interview the night before the decision, only good men are involved here. They will make the right decision, and the decision they took will save lives. That decision was to extend the state of emergency in both areas. As I said in an interview the night before. Now, leading up to this agreement, I saw and heard statistics being analyzed about the success or the failure of the state of emergency. Indeed, listening to some people, one would have thought that more murders were committed under the state of emergency than were committed in the same period last year. That, of course, is not true. Let's analyze. Jamaica's 2 primary killing zones are Spanish Town and Montego Bay. You get it? Jamaica's 2 primary killing areas are Spanish Town and Montego Bay. Both have been under the state of emergency since March of 2018. So we are going to examine the period where both killing zones went under the state of emergency from March 18th to April 30th. This is a period of 44 days. Y'all walking with me so far? During this period, Jamaica experienced 173 murders in 44 days. In this same period of 2017, Jamaica experienced 176 murders. Now, he went on to say that that is a 1.7% reduction over the same time period. I go on to say 173 from last year, or from this year, and 176 from the same time period of last year. still does not equal out to an entire year, but it tells me that they are at 3 murders less. Alright, so our campaign has kicked off for our Strength of a Nation campaign. Alright, make sure you support our Strength of a Nation campaign by buying one of these beautiful pieces that you see in this video right here. $1 from every sale will go towards our charity of choice, and our charity of choice is forjamaica.org. Go look them up. In case you're wondering how to purchase one of these beautiful pieces, on every video on SoFlo TV, look right underneath the video and you will see a piece of merchandise. Click that and purchase directly right here on YouTube. Thanks in advance. Politicians will spin it however they want to make it seem or look whatever they want it to seem or look like, but that's how I look at it from someone that's standing on the outside looking in. How do you look at it, my SoFlo TV audience? Moving along. Now, if we should look at the murder rate from January 1st to April 30th, you will get a different picture, he said. This because you have included a period of time in calculation where Jamaica was not conducting these 2 states of emergencies, and in actuality was at one point conducting none. So, logically speaking, if you want to analyze murder victims under the dual zone state of emergency, then you should examine the period where there was actually a dual zone state of emergency being conducted, and not include time periods where there was no state of emergency. Well, here may I say again. You see them politicians here, them a talk one bag of thing, and I understand the politics of this, and I also understand how they are trying to break these numbers down. But to the common man on the ground, all this means to us is how many people are murdered. State of emergency or no state of emergency. Just give with the numbers, right? To be frank, he said, I have never really agreed with comparing murder stats that are 1 year apart. I believe more in analysis that compares from first quarter to second quarter. Not I, Mr. Sir. I firmly will stick with the 1 year thing, because it says, it gives you a clear-cut image of what happened in that particular 12-month period. Alright? So, in 12 months in Jamaica of 2017, we had 1,616 murders. Whether there was a state of emergency in 1 parish, 2 parishes, or no parishes at all, we ended the year with 1,616 murders. Alright? And coming away in 2018, sorry, we are hoping to not repeat that number or get anywhere close to that number or beating that number. But here we stand. So, he said, since we have examined the 44 days from March 18 to April 30th of 2018 and compared them with the same period last year, let us now look at a month in 2018 with virtually no state of emergency, and compare the number statistics of April in which 2 states of emergency were in full effect. So we will compare January of 2018 to April of 2018. In January, here is where we have to dig for the numbers now, people. And that subscriber that asked me, so what are the numbers looking like right now, SoFlo TV? How many people get slapped away in Jamaica so far for the year? Alright, this man I said, in January, 144 people were killed nationally. In April, 121 people were killed nationally. So you have 144 and 121. I left school long time, my math's not too good. So 4 and 1 are 5 and 4 and 2 are 6 and 1 and 1 are 2. So that's 265 people killed, murdered. 265 in just a 2-month space. Damn. Shit. Pardon my language, but damn. 265 people in a 2-month space. Nah, man. I'm so confused, I forgot where I was at. He said that this is a decrease by 23 murders. On fire! Because this time last year, we had this number plus 23. Remember also that January has one more day than April. You see how them break things down? Like, I'm not willing to get that trivial about it. We just want to see the murders decreased. We don't care if 1 month have one more day than the rest of months and all these other things. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comment section, please. Him say remember that that January has one more day than April, yet the statistics will show a 15.97% decrease. This is a clear indication that there are less killings under the state of emergency. Alright? I understand that it is expensive, internationally embarrassing, and a terrible inconvenience for hundreds of poor young men who are detained for hours and then released. To the point that it is expensive, I would remind you that it is people who are being killed, not poultry. So money should not matter. And to that, Mr. Sir, I agree. To the critics of the detention policy being applied to the poor young men, I would ask, would you prefer them dead? Because this is the same group that is slaughtering each other by the hundreds. So if we don't intervene basically and lock up some people and try to get some intelligence and squeeze some people head and find out who and what and where and when to try to prevent some things, then this will continue. So you want we pick them up, lock them up and then let them go? Or you just want we not do anything at all and not pick up anybody? That is the question being posed. Alright. The number of killing is not normal. If this happened in the massive city of London, England, they would declare a state of emergency. And I'm not speaking per capita. I'm saying if 100 people were murdered in England, period, in a 44-day period, a state of emergency would be declared. We have been in a state of abnormality in Jamaica for so long that we have begun to accept this as normal. God Almighty, if it's not true. Because one of my subscribers said that to me. Them said, SoFlo, the people are desensitized, because if you look back at our statistics over the years, just take a 10-year span period. Who I did 10 years ago at 20 now? Who was 20 was 30 now? Who was 30 was 30 then was 40 now? So on and so forth. So 10 years of going through the same thing. And virtually these numbers hitting so close to each other every year. People witnessing these things. If you imagine a small place, like say, St. Catherine. 170 something murders, 170 something people gone from that one place by murder in 1 year. We're not talking about people that died from illnesses. We're talking about killings, murders. We're not talking about old age. We're not talking about cancer. We're not talking about diabetes. We're not talking about heart attack. Those are to be added. We're talking about killings, murders. Yeah? That many people missing by murder in one little place alone. It's got to be traumatizing, shocking to the people that live there and have to live through these. And I can't only imagine that many families are touched by this. So you have people growing up now with post-traumatic stress disorder, and not only that, becoming acclimatized as well as becoming accustomed to. Like, oh, a normal thing. I saw the thing set. Yeah? So he is right. To some extent, we have normalized this. He said, it's not even remotely civilized what is happening here. And if we truly respect lives of human beings, then we should expand and extend the state of emergency. That is what I said at the beginning of this video. To not only extend, but to expand it. This should be the battle that destroys the gangs and the gang culture. This is 3 years before election and 2 years before campaigning begins. So now is a very convenient time to make a stand against the gangs for the first time as a unified political alliance against killers. We as the people and the politicians who represent us need to let them know that we as a unit are sick of them. Sick of what they represent, and we are ready to see them destroyed. This must be irrespective of the thug rule they command in constituencies. Me don't know what that mean. I don't have to fill me in. Prime Minister Andrew Holness must care less about losing power and Dr. Peter Phillips about seizing it. It must be about planting our foot firmly in the throat of these gangs and letting them know that we will step on them. They must feel, you know what, I'm not going to read no further. One bag of long big talking from politicians. They've been talking this talk for the longest, man. And really and truly, I don't see that much of an improvement. But, like I said, I don't ever want to do a video where it leaves Jamaican people feeling hopeless and helpless. Yeah? I always want you to feel like the glass is half full. I want you to be hopeless because, hopeful. Because you understand the mentality of a people that are hopeless. When people are hopeless and them think, Ross, it done so for me, then them start kill themselves and kill other people around them too with no care in the world. So we don't want that to ever be the case, yeah? But we are sick of the long talking from the political parties and them playing politics with people life and people reality. While they live in a safe haven and enjoy all the beautiful things about the beautiful island of Jamaica. Am I wrong or right? Leave your comment in the comment section below and tell me what you think about this one. And although I wasn't able to come up with a solid number to the question that this subscriber asked, what is the murder rate number at this point in Jamaica SoFlo? If y'all know, leave it in the comment section. But I hope I brought some kind of clarity to how the numbers are being gathered or how they are being evasive about putting the numbers out there, and also you getting a better look at what's really going on. Alright? SoFlo TV, man. I'm out. Peace.